For a minute there, I was starting to get worried that there wasn't going to be anything for Transformers Reactivate ever, but I'm glad that anxiety has been put to rest.
Where you want it?
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the first of the two so far Transformers Reactivate 2-packs, this one featuring Optimus Prime and Soundwave from the highly anticipated and upcoming Transformers Reactivate video game. I, like many fans, was starting to get a little concerned, a little worried that Transformers Reactivate wasn't happening after a really awesome teaser trailer sometime in 2022 and some leaked images, some leaked art, some leaked gameplay images, still images, no actual gameplay, and nothing for almost an entire year until Hasbro at the end of 2023 announced these 2-packs featuring Optimus and Soundwave and Bumblebee and Starscream from Transformers Reactivate the video game, apparently originally called Transformers Rise. Reactivate's a cooler title though, or at least it is in my opinion. I hope this game comes out soon because I know I myself and many other Transformers fans are very hungry, starving even, for a new, serious Transformers video game. Many of us have just been not so patiently waiting and anticipating anything since Transformers Fall of Cybertron because, as we all know, Rise of the Dark Spark was a bit of a disappointment, and right after that, High Moon just was gone, which was a huge big shame and a big loss for not only the Transformers gaming community, but the gaming community as a whole. And not only that, while Transformers Devastation was pretty awesome, we haven't had another Transformers game, or at least nice Transformers game since. Earthspark is okay, and the Cyberverse game was a joke. That said, Splash Damage did also issue a statement earlier in December saying that while they didn't have anything else to reveal for 2023, they are still working on Transformers Reactivate and will hopefully have some news for us sometime during this year, 2024, if not, maybe even a game release this year. Although, while my fingers are crossed, I'm not going to hold my breath because somehow I don't expect it to be released this year. But if it does, I'll be pleasantly surprised and very excited for it. Anyway, that's pretty much all the information we have on the game so far, or at least all the information I have on the game so far. Here are the figures in this awesome 2-pack. So there's Optimus and Soundwave side by side. There's an awesome close-up image of Soundwave right there. There's one of Optimus. You've got some toy images of them right there. Would have been nice to have art of their alt modes here on the front, because right here you've got a slightly further out shot of Soundwave on this side. Right here you've got a slightly further out shot of Optimus. And on the back, you've got more toy images. And while there are a couple of what look like to be screen grabs from the game, and you do get to see them in their alt modes, it would have just been nice to see that character model artwork of their alt modes right here to match the character model artwork we have on the sides of the packaging. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here they are side by side out of the packaging, so you can see how they compare. And I wish Soundwave was just a little bit bigger, and I also wish that his chest compartment opened and came with a cassette, or at least came with a cassette partner that could maybe attach to him somewhere else or something for his robot mode or for his alt mode, whichever, because really when it comes down to the two, Soundwave definitely got a little bit less than Optimus here. Do I still love this Soundwave? Yes, this is a very cool Soundwave, very nice, very articulated, and I really love this design of him, and I love that they made him this really cool communications truck, because I mean, that makes sense to me. That's a nice modern take, one of the better modern takes of Soundwave, in my opinion. I mean, did I like the drone from Prime? Yes. Did I like the satellite from the Bayverse? Sure. I didn't really care for him being a Mercedes as much, even though I like Mercedes a lot. But if I had to pick, my other favorite alt mode of him from the Bayverse is when he was that off-road comms SUV that he was in the Dark of the Moon video game. That would have been cool to get, and maybe we'll get it in Studio Series one day, whether it's in Gamer Edition or one of those pieces they release as a concept art piece in the future. Who knows? But I like that it's more within the realm of possibilities than it was previously. Starting off here is Optimus, and Optimus is looking very good. This has quickly become one of my favorite Optimus Prime designs. I just love how bulky it is. I love the details, the little silver strips that he's got, even on the underside of the arms. That's really nice that it wasn't left over there. You've got it coming all the way up over the wrist. I like how all of his back stuff is just tucked underneath, and while he kind of has a backpack, it's not too much of one. It just looks like it's more his back than it looks like a backpack, or at least it does to me. This figure is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, in and out. Upper bicep, single jointed elbows. Wrists do swivel, although it's a little bit of a tight joint there. At least it is on mine. Waist, hips, upper thigh, single jointed knees, side to side ankles, and no forward and back, mostly due to transformation, and that's pretty much it. Now, while I like the weapon accessories, have a couple of complaints, and the majority of my complaints about this Optimus are in the weapon accessories. While it's really cool that we got both his Ion Blaster and his Energon Axe, I feel as though they could have been executed a little better. On the Ion Blaster, while the overall mold looks really awesome, that inner detailing looks cool, the blaster looks awesome, and it is Bloosh compatible, by the way. The handle is way too short for this Optimus for him to hold it stable. It just kind of rests there more than it pegs into his hand, because only the tip of this little peg here is actually in his hand, whereas the rest of it is just, you're just kind of hoping that it stays. Now, as you can see, it's not like it's falling out, but when you go to move his arm, it comes out very, very easily, and it wouldn't if the peg was just a little bit longer. I feel the same about this one, except in the cover here. So we've got this little half cover, which we've had previous releases of Energon Axes for Optimus Primes where they did it kind of like this. However, the little cover covered his hand a little bit more than this one does. Unfortunately, a good amount of Optimus's hand is visible through the axe when technically his hand is supposed to be becoming the axe or swapped in place of the axe. So really, we shouldn't see the hand at all, or very little, just barely poking out underneath, whereas almost half of the hand is poking out. While the axe design is very cool, it just should cover the hand more and maybe be a little bit larger than it is. Other than that, I do like the axe. I love the black paint that they did on the axe. I think that was also very nice. I think I also would have liked it if they hadn't done it, but it looks really cool that they did it that way. And design-wise, I really love that head sculpt. That head sculpt looks very cool, nice and beefy. Reminds me of something more in between the Fall of Cybertron head sculpt design and the Generation 1 head sculpt design. And real quick, since I've already got him here, his chest does open up, and he does have a removable matrix inside, which is, of course, another wonderful feature that pretty much every Optimus Prime should have. Or at least, if it's an Optimus that should have a matrix, should have. Transformation for this Optimus Prime is pretty fun and has a decent amount of moving parts and steps, And there are some bits that also remind me of the Earthrise Optimus Prime transformation a little bit, specifically in the arms and shoulders and the chest section, which I'll point out as I get to those pieces. To start, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the back of these arm panels here, and we're going to untab that side panel and pull all that down, and do the same thing over here, untab that side panel and stretch all that out. Next, we're going to rotate those arms around, and then we're going to pull on this little back section right here. Next, you want to flip out these little bits all the way out, extend this all the way out, including this little top piece, so it should look something like this. Then we're just going to kind of leave that stuff to the side for the moment, and then we're going to focus on the legs. So for the legs, what you want to do is you want to bring these feet all the way, and you want to kind of bring them at an angle like this instead of straight out because of the way the legs fold up. Next, we're going to open these panels on the back of the legs, untab those knees, and then flip that leg all the way around. And that's why I said to have that foot at an angle. You saw the clearance we got there, and then push that foot right back in there, and that little gap is going to get filled by the knee. Close this little panel back up, and then close this little piece right here. That's going to hide that knee just a little bit, and do the same thing over here. So just flip that around, bring that foot in, close that panel, and then we can peg the legs together, straighten out the waist, straighten out the feet, straighten out the legs. And now that we're done with that, that's the legs all done. Next up, we're going to open this little ab section. We're going to bring up this. We're going to untab the neck section and bring that back, and bring this section up like so. Unfold this piece out from under the chest, which is one of those bits I was saying that is similar to the Earthrise transformation. Rotate the front wheels down, and then push that grill in for now. We don't quite want to connect the grill in the middle yet, and it just makes positioning some of the other pieces a little easier, but we can bring that section up already. Next, come back over here, bring these little side bits down, and those are going to peg into the side of what was the knee, and then fill in that little gap right there in that section, and also help further secure this bottom stretch. Push that head end down just a little further, and then we're going to bring this piece down. Because you want to bring this down, there's a little tab right here on each side where part of this upper piece tabs into and secures the arm. But you don't want to put this down after, because then you're not going to be able to tab in those arms without having to undo them a little bit. So it's easier if you just put this piece down first. Next, we're going to fold in that elbow, bring that shoulder down in towards the back, kind of all at the same time, which is very similar to the arm transformation of the Earthrise Optimus Prime also. And then do the same thing over here. Bring this back, bring it down and up, bring that in, tab that into place, and we're just about done. Now we just got to fold out these little bits right here. Now we can bring out that grill and then just click the front of that truck mode into place. And there is Optimus in his new post-apocalyptic Earth truck mode. I love the little spiky grill right here on the front. The flat gray doesn't disturb me as much on this version as it did the Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, because whereas this character model does have more grays on him than the Rise of the Beasts Prime did, he also has the silver bits even on the gray to differentiate what's supposed to be silver and what's supposed to be gray, and there's a mix of both versus one or the other which was more the case with the Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime release. Overall, I really love this truck design. I love his robot mode design. Like I said, this is easily one of my favorite Optimus Prime designs so far. And now it's time for Soundwave. And while Soundwave is definitely a little less impressive than the Optimus Prime, at least in my opinion, and from what I've seen on social media and Mercari and eBay, the opinion of many others as well, considering so many fans are either trading, selling, or just outright getting rid of the Soundwave from this pack, which is kind of a shame because, yeah, he's not as cool as the Optimus, but he's still really cool. I really like this Soundwave a lot. And like I said earlier in the video, making him some kind of comm vehicle was really awesome and a great choice, especially for Soundwave. So here he is. He is also fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders in and out. Upper bicep, single jointed elbows, wrist swivel, waist, hips. They also go in and out. Upper thigh, single jointed knees, side ankle joints. He doesn't have forward and back either, but that's not because of transformation or anything like that. It's just he doesn't have forward and back ankle joints. He also comes with his signature blaster that he had all the way back in original Generation 1. His shoulder-mounted cannon. He also has this cool little dish or antenna on his back for his comms alt mode, but I like that it's also just out on his robot mode also. And then, like I was talking about earlier in this video, my biggest disappointment with this figure, and I'm sure it's pretty much everybody else's as well, which is probably why they're selling or trading him, the chest doesn't open up whatsoever, mostly due to transformation, and he didn't come with any kind of pack-in, mini-con, cassette character of any kind, unfortunately. Which is kind of a shame because we've kind of come accustomed at this point to when there's a new Soundwave, he gets either Ravage, Laserbeak, or both. And it's been a while since we've gotten a Soundwave without a pack-in character or have a pack-in character released to the side with one of the other ones like they did in Siege. But he doesn't even have the potential for interaction if they were to do that, unless they're going to do something else more creative with his cassettes, which we have yet to see in Reactivate. Because while I did say earlier there were some leaked character models for the game, I don't recall seeing any leaked character models for his cassettes. At least not that I can think of off the top of my head. Transformation on Soundwave is also pretty fun and interesting, and not what I expected when I went to first transform this guy. First, what we're going to do is we're going to remove his blaster here, and that's it. We're not going to be removing this weapon here at all. This is going to stay right where it is. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to straighten out those arms. We're going to rotate these legs all the way around on those thigh joints, and then we're going to peg them together right in the center. Next, we're going to lift these little side panels here and fold out these wheels that were on the inner part of his thighs. Next, we're going to come over here and we're going to pull on this section and extend all of this all the way out, and we're going to just go ahead and flip in the robot mode head. We don't need it anymore. It's time to put it away and come back around here to the back. We're going to, on these double hinge, rotate these wheels around and try to get them as far out as you can. And then we're going to untab this waist and bring this section all the way down like so, and then you're going to see these fit. But before we can tab all of this into place and stow these legs away, we got to put the arms away first. So rotate on these shoulder sections here, these arms. There is a little peg hole on the inside of the forearm. There is a little rectangular peg right here that is going to peg on that inner side of that forearm. Once you get it lined up like so, do the same thing over here. Get that in. Get that pegged in. And then now we can bring those legs down like so. And while we just about got everything fit into place really quickly, there is those little side bits on those legs. So those become part of the outer rear fender. So just make sure that you get those pulled out a little bit and connected where they're supposed to be. And flip up his little antenna, aim his little cannon forward, take his blaster here that plugs right here onto the back, and there is Soundwave in his little comms vehicle alt mode. And it looks really cool. It's a nice little armored vehicle. I like the vents on the windshield there. I like how his chest compartment makes the hood. But you see what I'm saying when I say that there's no way they could have done his cassettes to go inside his chest compartment, because this becomes the hood. There's the waist. There's nowhere extra space-wise to put those little guys, unfortunately. And I think part of that has to do with the alt mode. And while they did it with the Cyberverse Soundwave, it would have looked a little worse, I think, if they had just tried to remold the Cyberverse Soundwave or try to copy the Cyberverse Soundwave, which was also a little comms vehicle, which I also really liked. And here is Soundwave and Optimus side by side right out of the packaging in their alt modes. And Optimus is definitely a good bit bigger, significantly more so, I think, in truck mode than he is in robot mode. But I do think they both look really good side by side together. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's review featuring the new Transformers Reactivate Optimus Prime and Soundwave 2-pack. Are you also eagerly awaiting the next installment of what might be a really cool Transformers video game? Or are you cautiously waiting to seeing if anything happens at all, like some of the rest of us are? As much as I really want Transformers Reactivate to happen, and as excited as I am for another pretty good and serious take on a Transformers video game, I'm also not holding my breath, because we've also had some other Transformers video games that we were excited about in the past that never happened. So who knows? We'll have to just patiently wait and see, and hopefully there's some more figures coming aside from Optimus, Soundwave, Bumblebee, and Starscream, because these character designs are really awesome, and I definitely want to see more Cybertronians in the Reactivate art style. Stay tuned for more Transformers reviews. Stay tuned for that other Reactivate 2-pack review. Like and subscribe and follow us on social media for more. Check out our sister website and YouTube channel, CoolToyReview.com, for other awesome toy reviews, news, and more. And if you like Star Wars content, check out our other sister website, Rebelscum.com, which is the world's oldest and largest Star Wars fan website not owned by Disney. And Rebelscum is hosting the very first official Rebelscum Con in their nearly 30-year-long history of Star Wars fan content, news, and more, coming June 27th through the 30th in the heart of North Texas at the Allen Convention Center. To book your experience today, go to rebelscumconventions.com. Once again, that's rebelscumconventions.com. If you're looking for some awesome toys and merch, come by our physical location inside Order 66 Multiverse in the shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas, which also houses Order 66 Toys, the world's official all-collectible Star Wars toy store. And in case you're not local, they go live every Friday on the Order 66 Toys Facebook page at 7 p.m. Central Time, and they ship all around the world. Last but not least, check out our free archival website, collectorsoracle.com today, where you can mark figures that you have, mark figures that you'd like to have, share those lists with friends, family, and social media alike. And the best part is, collectorsoracle.com is all absolutely free to use. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.